Good morning. This is the Center for Pleasant Valley, Center for Spiritual Living in Pleasant Valley, California. It's not in Pleasant Valley, California. It's in Camarillo, California, and it's a beautiful rainy day here. We welcome the rain. We're so happy with it. So these meditations that I'm doing are given to us about the spiritual practices, the disciplines and spiritual practices of the sages and mystics throughout the ages, and the teachers, our wonderful teachers. And so one of my favorite mystics and sages and poet is Rumi. I was going to start with Krishnamurti today, but I'm going to do Rumi for all of this week because he's such a fascinating person. So I'm going to start by telling you, first I'm going to start after I tell you what I'm going to do today by relaxing us in. Then I'm going to tell you about Rumi, and he had 4 clear paths to spirituality, but we're just going to learn about Rumi today and just go within with some of the things that we know about him and go deeper with them, because he is the poet that everybody knows, but many of us don't know or didn't know exactly his life path and how he got to where he was. So the first thing I'm going to do is just relax in, just relax in. And how we do that is we just see that light all around us, this loving light. And we just see it coming from the very, very top of our heads all the way down, down, down. The crown, the back of the head, just relaxing the head. And then coming around into the third eye, the intuitive third eye, opening that, going down and feeling it in your jaw, and your jaw may even become slack-jawed. And then going around the back, and just vertebrae by vertebrae, relaxing in. You may leave your eyes open or closed, whatever you wish. And then just by relaxing in, let your shoulders fall and your head fall. And again, where so many times we watch our back all the time and we don't relax in. We're always like this with our computers or on edge. And so when we just let them fall all the way down, let your neck fall, and do that stretch, do that neck stretch down where you try and touch your chin to your chest and feel that stretch in the shoulders, and it feels so good. And so then that energy going down the shoulders, down the top of the arms, down the upper arms, out the elbows, down the lower arms, the wrists, the hands. And you may even feel that energy in those, because we are energy. We are energy and energy and energy. A cell and a cell and a cell and a cell, a universe within a universe, and all of the universes. And so when we feel and direct that energy, if there's any place in your body this morning you would like, if there's an uncomfortability, take these energy wands and just place them on that energy and direct your thoughts and energy to that as we relax in. And listen to Rumi and some of the disciplines that made him who he was. Someone who gave us a gift throughout all these centuries. So then now that energy goes up, back up the arms, down the back, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Just relaxing in. And coming around now to the front and doing where the lotus is in your heart. See that beautiful lotus opening, and again there may be a deity there, someone you feel close to there, or just the beauty of the lotus itself. Look at all of its insides. And it can be floating in a pond or just open in the sky, or whatever there is. Whatever you see is your reality, and it's good and very good, because it came from your unique thinking, your unique imagination, your unique remembrance of when you were actually looking at the lilies and the lotuses in the pond. So now have that energy come all the way back down around the back, relaxing in vertebrae by vertebrae, then wrapping around the front again, below the heart, above the belly button. And that's your sacral chakra. It's not, it's your solar plexus, and it's the beautiful yellow sun. That beautiful yellow sun opening up and then going back down, around, relaxing the stomach, going back down around the back again, and around, and just relaxing in the sacral chakra, which is below the belly button and above the root chakra between the legs. Beautiful orange, beautiful color. And see it just relaxing in. And then it's flowing back down around the back again, going down the sit bone, going down the thighs, coming around into the middle part of the legs, the root chakra. Beautiful red ruby root chakra. And then that energy going down the thighs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, and out the bottom of the feet. And see that energy, that wonderful light energy going all the way down, down, down to the Middle Earth and attaching it to something or have something holding it there, a deity, a loved one greeting you and holding it there, that light. And then have that energy come right back up all the way through the body, just surging all the way back up to the crown chakra. As I go within now, and tell you a little bit about Rumi. And again, he is one of my favorites. And Rumi was aware that religion sometimes comes with a lot of laws and a lot of things that, shouldas in the life. And sometimes in our minds, the greatest thing that we can have is a radical insight into beyond the religion, beyond the set of values and rules someone else set to you or gave to you in organized religion. And so when Rumi was a child, and his father was a mystic also and a poet, and when he was a child, one day he was tired of just, trying to live by all the rules. And so, and this was in the 13th century. And again, how lucky we are that we still have all of his writings. And so he was being raised in an Orthodox religious tradition. And ultimately, he just had it. He wanted to go beyond the practices. He wanted to feel what it was like to feel inside the soul and the love and he wanted to have that whole body ecstasy. And he had never found it by sitting for hours in a temple or any place else. And he just wanted to surrender to love and understand love and dissolve the self into that greater beingness. And he wrote, "Falling in love took me away from academia and reading the Quran so much. Just like that, it made me crazy and insane. I used to go to the mosque to throw myself on the prayer rug and cover myself with devotion. But one day, love entered the mosque and spoke to me. 'O wise one, why do you stay stuck inside the house of worship? What you need to do is break free from the bondage of self.' And so his path to embody that love began. And luckily, he let go of compliant participation, went out in search for, as he said, or someone wrote about him, rowdy lovers of God. And he wanted to surrender to that God self. And again, he had not found anything that helped him be and feel the oneness and that intoxicated reverie when love takes over your whole body and shows up beyond ourself. And when you go deep within and connect. So Rumi's path, for anyone who has ever felt the religious impulse, has never been able for he understood his energies to no longer comfortably conformed to the disciplines of just going into a temple and listening and doing the things that someone else told him. He wanted to be over the top drunk on the divine urges that was within him. And so he had a transformational moment when he met a wise man. He was visiting, trying to find out who he was. And by the way, he was the creator of the swirling dervishes, the dances of ecstasy that the Sufis do and other religions do as well. Well, the twirling dervishes do it as well. So anyway, he went out in search, and he met this man that was what he said. When he looked at him, he seemed illuminated. And this wise man took him in to a temple, and they don't know what happened. But this man, he was Shams was his first name, and he took him into this temple, and they were alone together for days and days and days. And when he came out of that temple, after that time spent with Shams, then poetry became his language. That is exactly what he came out, speaking in rhymes. And his students and friends who became known to him and known about the secrets or the joy and the ecstasy of these poems began writing them down. Rumi never wrote a word down. They were all transcribed for those who were absolutely entranced and in love, and also began to embrace those words that were so much greater than sitting in a temple, and made him come alive. And so when he went, there were no journal entries actually. Rumi spoke of his poems spontaneously to the people he met on the walks through the city, and he didn't write them down, but readers flocked to them. They wrote them down, and everybody flocked to him because he was an illuminated being who all of a sudden began to absolutely embrace and reflect the oneness, the beauty, the excitement, the ecstasy of the divine being within. And so a lot of the phrases that are used are not actually clear. The English phrases are not actually clear descriptions, they believe now, of what he was thinking. They believe that they've been manipulated through language. But when he came out, what they finally learned is mostly the spiritual practices and meditations that he offered by word of mouth from his mind are all practices that mention, they're all physical practices when you think about it. They are breathing lightly, eating lightly, breathing deeply, not lightly, eating lightly, breathing deeply, moving freely, gazing rapidly. And so all of his message were clear. If you want to change the physiology, the psychology, the oneness, and the beingness in all of who you are, it is a whole body experience. And it comes from tactile sensations as well as the ecstasy. It truly is being felt in every part of the body, down to the smallest cell. But ordinarily, we don't see these or feel these things for ourselves. And so he encouraged everyone to open their hearts and their minds and their bodies to love absolutely with ecstasy in every cell of the body. So now we're going to go within, and we're just going to take this word and we're going to connect just today. And I invite you to find something you can do physically today that incites you and brings you all of the good and all the excitement of being alive in the body, mind, and spirit. Do something physically today in your meditations also. whether it's walking with intention or being with intention, whatever it is, just embody it with all your senses. Be in touch. And so let us begin right here and right now with being in touch with our bodies by just breathing in with God is on the in-breath, I am on the out-breath, and then 2 more. And I will do the Koshi bells underneath. Rumi also wrote that the greatest enlightenment in this whole body experience usually comes in the quiet, where love just fills your soul. So just go into the quiet. And in the end, I'll be giving you some affirmations. And so the 4 practices presented by Rumi that we will be going into deeply next week support the awakening of the soul through the stimulation of feeling. And that feeling doesn't just affect the body. It radically affects the mind by softening the hardened sense of self, which ordinarily we so completely identify with. So going deep within, using his poetry and affirmations. I am dissolving the self. In the oneness and religion of lovers. I am giving up the self to something greater. For there is no other way to find my essence. I let go and I let God. oneness with everyone. I am one with my body, and yet I am finding what lies beyond it. I melt into and down into the place where I am disappearing completely and becoming nothing. And I, in this nothingness, am ecstatic, where I see everything in the nothingness. And just continue to breathe deeply. And I end with a Rumi poem. O hearts gone wild, overcome by pleasure, ask for wine from the player and surrender to the sound of the neigh. O sober ones, drink the wine from the jar of union, then destroy the mind that looks so far ahead of itself. Open the ear of your soul, listen to the music at the tavern of eternity. Stop repeating the alphabet. For God's sake, fill your skull with divine wine and roll up the covers of reason and the mind. A lover's take of the garment of self-consciousness. We take that off and melt yourself away while gazing at the face of the immortal beauty of the divine. And so coming back into the room, listening to my voice, beginning your day wherever you are, in joy and beauty, and looking deeply into the nothingness that is the everythingness, as I always say. Looking beyond the great within, the great beyond within. And feel your body today, experience your body today. Not the pains, not the, oh my God, I have to exercise, but the joy of just in moving, even your hands, your feet, whatever it is. Just be aware and enjoy it in this whole body teaching. And so I say, namaste, peace out. We'll be looking at, on Monday, the first spiritual discipline that we broke down from Rumi, and it's eating lightly and what that does for the soul and the mind and the body. So namaste, peace out. I love each and every one of you. Join us this Sunday. Reverend Betty Ann and I will be together. Mwah! Have a great, blessed, wonderful day. And I'll see you on the flip side, as I say. I'll see you Sunday afternoon on Facebook.